All right, welcome to the Sweet Science of Fighting Jiu-Jitsu Instructional channel. Myself, James, and Ryan again. This time we're going to cover the Ashi Garami defense going into a rolling back take. So a little bit of a sequence here, a little bit of controversy on Instagram if you've seen it there. So we're going to cover that in long form for you. But make sure you check down the description. The Sweet Science of Fighting Underground is there. You get access to all the Jiu-Jitsu strength and conditioning programs and access to Ryan to break down your matches and answer all your questions around technique.
Actually got a lot of views on this video for a video we did earlier about this actual position. And there's a lot of questions and controversy of why this move actually works and why questions of why it wouldn't work. And I think all those are pretty valid. There was some, and I'll go over those. So basically what the position is if I'm in an Ashi position, like trying to get the foot off the hip was kind of classic way to do it. I target the big toe, so I produce a heel hook, and I do this. Just as an FYI, don't grab the heel and try to pull it off. Guys have really big, strong legs. Just go to the big toe and start to press on it, because that starts to heel hook the person, and you can potentially get the foot off the hip. You're not out of hot water, but it at least gets the foot off the hip. What we're actually going to do today is I'm going to encourage the reap. So what I do is I actually take his toes, I grab his toes, and I force him to the ground. Now when I do this, it's very important for me to be turning my knee and making sure that my knee is at a minimum on top of his thigh. I don't want my knee to be hitting the ground. It's still not the end of on the inside. It's still not the end of the world if my knee hits the inside where his hip is here. I can still possibly produce something, but this is where you start getting to the toe holds and counterattacks, and he can actually attack my leg. So I'm going to turn, and I'm going to push stiff arm his foot down. Now remember, right here, both my hands need to go to the feet, and I stay here, and I pin to the ground, okay? Now the controversy with this was, well, yeah, you can do this. He's gonna toe hold you and break your leg. So if he tried to toe hold me and break my leg, yes, possibly. He could heel hook me and do other stuff. There's several problems here. One is timing. The second one is it's a short heel or a short toe hold. He's lost a lot of my leg. And the second part third part is my hands are framing and pinning his legs down, okay? This gives me a little bit of time. Now remember, this is only if my knee lands on the inside of it between his legs. If my knee lands here, I don't care about the toe hold anymore, really, because I can actually turn and rotate my knee out because his bottom leg's not blocking my knee. So if my knee is at a minimum on top of his thigh, I can rotate. And certainly if my knee's out here, I can definitely rotate, right? But if my knee's on the inside, this is where things may get questionable. So I get here, I turn, I kick, go through. How's it going? Take my shoulder, draw it to my left shoulder. Scissor, feet hit the ground flat, scoop the hip, shoulder, do your basic shrimp, and then take the back. So, yeah, right?
Can I show it the other way?
I'm sorry? Yeah, we'll do it the other way. Facing this way? Yep. So, again, a bit of controversy where to put the leg. So again, if you don't rotate your knee and the knee lands on the inside, you could possibly break your leg, or he can actually produce a toe hold or a short heel, okay? The problem here, again, is timing. So when I encourage the reap, and I'm framing out on the leg here, my top arm frames the top leg, my bottom arm frames the bottom leg, and I pin. It's very important that my knee does not hit the ground here. If my knee hits the ground, now he can start to produce heel hooks and toe holds and all these other submissions. What I wanted to make sure is at a minimum that my knee stays on top of his thigh, okay? Best case is saying it's on the outside of his leg, okay? But most of the time, you're just gonna get the knee to the top, on top of the thigh. Once we get here and I have the legs pinned, this is where we take our outside leg. And if he does have a hold of my foot, it doesn't matter because I can use my actual other foot to kick and press his grips, whatever grips he may have on my foot, and get them off. This knee drops to the ground, and now we're here. There's no reason for me to take the extra step and try to turn and face him. This will turn into a bit of a scramble and some wrestling. So what I actually want to do is just keep facing this direction, pinch my knees together, start to fall to my shoulder, scissor my legs, and my feet are going to hit flat so that his hips end up off the ground. Hip, shoulder, shrimp. And then I can start to attack the back. So hopefully that clears up some of the questions of you're gonna explode your knee. So, but just again, just make sure that your knee is actually on top of the thigh and not next to the hip, and then you have more rotation so that your knee doesn't get